Commander Sala, of the Vrexian hunting fleet, had seen many things in her 17 cycles of military service. She had witnessed the fall of star fortresses, negotiated treaties with silicon-based intelligences, and survived the void wars of the Outer Rim. But nothing, absolutely nothing, had prepared her for the human. The human's name was Kiro, and she had arrived at the Vrexian Military Academy 3 lunar cycles ago as part of the Galactic Coalition's new cultural exchange program. The Vrexian High Command had protested. Naturally, humans were soft things, barely capable of surviving their own gravity well, let alone the rigorous training regimen designed for apex predators. The cub's juvenile Vrexians in their first 5 years of combat education would tear her apart, metaphorically, if not literally. Sala had been assigned as Kiro's official liaison, a duty she had accepted with the grim resignation of a warrior given an impossible task. The first morning, Kiro had done something peculiar. She had pulled out a small, primitive paper notebook and written a series of items with a chemical-based marking instrument. Sala's translator implant had rendered the symbols. A to-do list. "What is this?" Sala had asked, her triple-jointed fingers pointing at the paper. "Oh, just my daily tasks." Kiro had replied with that strange mammalian expression humans called a smile. "Helps me stay organized. Morning, run, check. Breakfast, check. Review training protocols, equipment maintenance, afternoon combat drills." The cubs had been watching. Of course they had been watching. Vrexian young missed nothing, their hunting instincts sharpened from the moment they could crawl. Sala had seen their reflective eyes tracking Kiro's every movement, their muscular bodies coiled with predatory curiosity. By the second week, something extraordinary happened. Sala entered the training grounds to find Kiro surrounded by a pack of 7 cubs, their scaled bodies forming a protective semicircle around the human. The largest cub, a female named Thraxis, held something in her claws, a piece of synthetic paper with crude markings. "Task," Thraxis growled in broken standard. "Bring human." Kiro laughed. That bizarre sound that made Vrexian warriors uncomfortable because it exposed the throat. "Is this? Did you make me a to-do list?" The paper read, in childish but determined script. "Play. Now." Sala's dorsal spines flattened in shock. Vrexian cubs did not play. They trained. They hunted. They established dominance hierarchies through ritualized combat. They did not bring adults' tasks written on paper, but Kiro simply checked an imaginary box in the air and said, "Well, a task is a task. What do you want to play?" 1. The cubs had vibrated with excitement, a sound that typically preceded a feeding frenzy. The incidents escalated from there. Morning of day 15. Kiro found a torn piece of her own notebook beside her sleep pod, written in what appeared to be claw marks and training ink. "Second breakfast." The cubs had somehow procured an extra ration pack, technically theft from the commissary. But Sala couldn't prove anything. Day 20. Teach human words. The cubs brought her their language primers, sitting in unnaturally patient rows while Kiro attempted to pronounce Vrexian throat clicks. Day 23. Tell story. Earth predators. Kiro had spent 2 hours describing creatures called bears and sharks, while 12 cubs listened with rapt attention, their tails swishing in synchronized fascination. Day 30. Help Kiro clean weapons. An entire training squad had disassembled, cleaned, and reassembled Kiro's plasma rifle before she had even finished her morning calisthenics. Sala reported these developments to High Command with growing bewilderment. The response had been immediate and alarming. Monitor situation. Human may pose psychological threat to cub's warrior development. But Sala had watched, and what she saw defied every assumption about human weakness. The cubs were becoming better warriors. More disciplined. More focused. They completed their combat drills with renewed intensity because they knew Kiro would check off their progress on her list. They studied harder because bringing her completed assignments earned that strange human smile. They worked together more efficiently because Kiro had taught them something called Team building. The human had weaponized organization and affection. On day 42, the Academy faced its standard evaluation, a live combat simulation against autonomous war drones. The Cubs, organized into hunting packs, would need to disable 15 targets within a galactic standard hour. Sala watched from the command center as Kiro's assigned pack, the same 7, who had brought her that first play task, moved through the course with unprecedented coordination. They had created their own to-do list, visible on Thraxis's wrist display. Disable drones. 15. Protect Kiro. Make Sala proud. Second breakfast after. They completed the course in 37 minutes. A new Academy record. In the celebration afterward, old War Master Krell, a scarred veteran who had trained 3 generations of Rexian warriors, approached Sala. His eyes were fixed on Kiro, who was being ceremonially headbutted by enthusiastic cubs. "The human," he rumbled. "She has made our young into something unexpected." "Sir?" Sala's spines rose in defensive posture. "Better predators," Krell continued. "Not because she taught them to hunt, but because she taught them why we hunt. Purpose, structure, care for the pack." His mandibles clicked in what might have been approval. Perhaps humans are not prey after all. Perhaps they are the most dangerous predators in the galaxy because they turn others into weapons without raising a single claw. That evening, Sala found a small paper note on her command console. Kiro's handwriting, with a checked box. "Survive day 42 with the Cubs." Below it, in careful Vrexian script, clearly written by multiple small claws, "Keep Kiro forever. Make squadron. Protect together." Sala's combat-hardened heart, 3-chambered and efficient, did something it rarely did. It softened. She pulled out her own data pad and created her first to-do list. Recommend Kiro for permanent assignment. Some tasks, she realized, were worth completing.